Oh, my dear delusional friend, buckle up, 'cause here comes the crash. And not just any crash, the kind that happens to someone who still believes not replying for 3 days is just playing hard to get, that seeing your message and ignoring you is shyness, and that never agreeing to go out means she's saving herself for a special moment. Spoiler alert, the only thing special here is the Olympic level of your denial. Let's get one thing straight. A woman who's not into you isn't gonna send you a formal letter that says, "I'm not interested." She sends signals like, all of them, in neon, with glitter, a megaphone, and maybe even a PowerPoint if she's feeling generous. But then, here you come, Sherlock of Love, trying to crack a code that already came with subtitles. And you still mess it up. She takes days to reply. You say she's busy. She never invites you anywhere. You call her reserved. She only talks to you when everyone else disappears. She's just being selective. Oh, sure. If that's what you call being selective, then I'm the Prince of Monaco. The truth is simple, but it hurts, right? You're not her plan A. Not even plan B. You're what's left when everything else falls through. A mere background extra in the soap opera of her life. Let's see what this one is up to just to kill time. And you? You think you're the lead. Congratulations, buddy. Here's an Oscar for Best Self-Delusion. This video isn't here to pat you on the head. It's here to give you that jolt your self-esteem seems to be refusing. Will it hurt? I hope so. A good hurt. The kind that helps you grow. The kind that says, enough of being a labeled idiot. Now, before we start this reality check lesson that might save you from future embarrassments, do your part. Hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a thanks in the comments. Not for me, champ. For the algorithm. Because that's the only thing that'll make sure this public service announcement reaches other clueless souls who also need this slap in the face. Ready? Hold tight, because the reality check is brutal. After today, with any luck, you'll stop crawling after someone who barely even remembers your name. Sign 1. She replies but never initiates. And you? Oh, you think you're killing it. Congratulations, champ. You've just become the saddest monologue in WhatsApp history. It's always you sending the super enthusiastic good morning, like you're the employee of the month in the Department of Neediness. Always you trying to keep the conversation alive while she replies with the excitement of someone reading the label on a cough syrup bottle. A little ha ha ha, a cool, a let's see sometime, which is basically the new leave me alone in soft mode. She doesn't start conversations because, drum roll, she doesn't want to. Plain and simple. She only gives you enough so she doesn't look like a total jerk, and to keep you orbiting there like a needy satellite. And you, loyal knight of wishful thinking, believe it's just shyness. It's not shyness, it's disinterest. If she really wanted to talk, she'd hit you up, ask about your day, remember you exist without being poked. But of course, you're so hooked on playing the nice guy who tries that you don't realize you've turned into a pastime, a walking ego booster. While you're wondering, maybe she's just busy. She's totally busy ignoring you like a pro. When she's actually into someone, guess what? She calls, texts, asks questions, shows genuine curiosity. With you, she only responds, and that's when she feels like it. Yet you keep going. Because in your head, if she hasn't blocked you, that's a sign of hope. Adorable. But jot this down. Reciprocity isn't a luxury, it's the bare minimum. If you're the only one carrying the convo on your back, that's not a dialogue, that's emotional torture on a schedule. The more you insist, the easier it is for her to leave you hanging, because she knows you won't stop. So do yourself a favor. Uninstall that desperation and start noticing who actually wants to be in the conversation. Silence speaks too, and hers is screaming that you're wasting your breath. And now, let's move on to sign number 2, which is even more blatant. If you thought this was rock bottom, oh buddy, there's a basement. Sign 2, you always have to beg to see her. So warrior, how many imaginary coffee dates have you scheduled this week? You invite her out and she vanishes. You try again, hoping for a humble, sure thing. But all you get is "I'll check my schedule" that should be declared a national monument of BS. Still, you bravely persist, re-invite, replan. And what do you get? "This week is crazy busy." Busy? Sure, maybe the Boston Marathon of lame excuses is in town. Let's face it, it's not about luck, fate, or how jam-packed her schedule is. The problem is you. She's just not interested. A woman who really wants to see you will cut through traffic in a meteor shower if she has to. When she wants you, she finds a way. When she doesn't, even a cat's birthday party turns into an urgent commitment. And the funniest part, she's definitely going out. She's at a bar with her friends, posting selfies with a drink in hand and some sparkly filter on her face. She's out with a cousin, a neighbor, the pizza delivery guy, just not with you. Because what are you again? The emergency plan. The if all else fails plan. And guess what never fails? Her lack of interest in you. Still, fueled by the kind of optimism only those who've never had self-respect can muster, you keep insisting, hoping that one day she'll drop everything and say, "Wow, I just fell in love with this guy I've been ignoring for weeks." Spoiler, not happening. So do yourself a favor and memorize this gem. No one is too busy for the people they truly care about. If she can't find even a sliver of time for you, it's because you're not on her priority list. You're on her wait list. Way below her mud bath or Netflix session with her cat. Now hold on tight, because the next sign is laced with even more secondhand embarrassment. Maybe, just maybe, you'll finally get why sticking around is basically an emotional masochist's wet dream. Let's go. Sign 3. She's always busy, and you believe it. How cute. You send a sweet, "Everything okay?" thinking you're Prince Charming with your concern. She replies with the classic, "I'm super busy right now." End of story. You invite her out. This week is impossible. You try again. I have so much to deal with. And you, unstoppable soldier of insistence, keep buying these telenovela-level recycled excuses. But oh, how curious. While she's supposedly drowning in chaos, she's more active on social media than a teenager during finals week. Posting gym stories, liking shady memes, grabbing drinks under neon lights, and still finding time to leave comments on her ex's posts. But responding to you? Her schedule's too tight. What a convenient coincidence, huh? The "I'm busy" excuse is just a polite and a bit cynical way of saying, "I don't give a damn about you." Yet you, with your blind faith in humanity, choose to believe she's just going through a phase, right? A phase that involves everyone except you. Some phase, huh? Let me break it down for you. We make time for who we actually want around. That's it. And you're not in the equation. You're on the maybe never if I get super bored spreadsheet. The saddest part, you're still waiting, as if one day she'll snap out of her selective coma and remember you exist. A man with self-worth doesn't accept being the backup plan. He sees the pattern, reads the signs, and exits with dignity. You, on the other hand, keep sending her good morning texts with a little sunshine emoji, while she's probably got your chat on mute. But hang on, 'cause there's more. If you think time is the only problem, wait till you see what her body language is screaming at you, and you're busy playing deaf. Let's move on to the next slap in the face. Sign 4. There's zero physical contact or real closeness, and you still think she's just reserved. Yeah, sure. Body language doesn't lie, my friend. And hers is yelling, "Leave me alone," while you pretend it's some ASMR of mutual attraction. You try to get closer, she takes a step back. Go in for a hug, she does a little dodge move. Lightly touch her arm. She acts like you're a cactus. And you, lost in fantasy, keep telling yourself, that's just how she is. Right, how she is when she's trying not to be near you. Now look in the mirror and be honest. When was the last time she touched you without you initiating it? When did she seek you out for spontaneous affection, a genuine hug, holding hands, a playful nudge? If your answer is never or I can't remember, congratulations. You're basically a piece of furniture decorating the room. Harsh but liberating truth. When there's desire, the body naturally leans in. Touch comes easy. Being close is a pleasure. Eye contact is constant. But if she's inching away like you're radioactive every time you get near, the radioactive is you. The subtle and painfully obvious warning sign is all in the nonverbal cues. Avoiding eye contact, using her purse as a shield, sitting at a distance like your presence emits bad Wi-Fi. And you still think it's part of her mystique. It's not a phase, it's not some old trauma, it's not a quirk, it's disinterest. Her body is practically begging for space, and you keep pushing forward like you can physically force attraction. Spoiler, you can't. What's even more devastating is the complete apathy. Noticing your new haircut. No compliments, no sweet remarks. You just don't exist on her radar. No sparks. Zero. But keep that chin up. Our next sign will make it even clearer you're living a one-sided relationship. And guess who the only occupant is? That'd be you. Let's go. Sign 5. She doesn't compliment you, doesn't notice you, doesn't care. Meanwhile, you're strutting around like a peacock. For nobody. You get a fresh haircut thinking you'll wow her, and all you get is the echo of your own desperation. You buy new clothes, throw on some cologne, flash that bright smile. And nothing. No reaction, no comment, not even the faintest spark of approval. It's like you're a decorative plant in the corner there, but easily forgotten. And then you lie to yourself saying, women are more subtle. Subtle, yes. Blind, no. If a woman's actually interested, she'll notice everything from the way you roll up your sleeves to the color of your shoelaces. She'll comment on your scent, your voice, your new sneakers. She wants to pay attention, to praise you, to let you know you move her. When she doesn't say a single word, it's because you don't move anything in her, not even curiosity. That's when you double down. You start dressing up more, spraying cologne like you're filming a deodorant commercial, fishing for some reaction. But the more you try, the more invisible you become. Because the issue isn't how presentable you are, it's that she doesn't want to see you. And yes, it stings. You're putting your best self out there, standing there emotionally naked, offering your best side. And she treats you like a bored obligation, responding to you the same way people respond to spam emails. A compliment is the bare minimum someone gives when they care. When even that's missing, it's because there's no connection at all. You don't spark desire, admiration, or curiosity. Nada. Indifference is worse than rejection, because rejection is at least a clear response. Indifference is an emotional black hole. If you're sick of being the overeager romantic who never gets anything in return, maybe, just maybe, it's time you stop being her emotional doormat. If you need a shove to stop begging for scraps and start being the guy who commands respect instead of pity, check out the digital book linked in the description. It'll teach you how not to grovel for attention, and instead become someone worth noticing, not someone to feel sorry for. Because the world doesn't sympathize with someone who settles for crumbs. And no woman respects a guy who's handed himself over on a silver platter. Wake up. Or keep waiting for a compliment that'll never come, while she's busy complimenting her personal trainer. On to the next sign. It's getting painful, but there's still time to exit with a shred of dignity. Sign 6. She replies coldly and takes hours or days. Yet you still think you're playing hard to get. Dude, wake up. You send that heartfelt text with emojis, warmth, maybe even a little joke to lighten the mood. She answers 10 hours later with a maybe, cold, lifeless. A maybe that might as well be replaced with, please leave me alone. But you won't give up. You figure she's busy, or tired, or didn't see the message. Right, because she didn't see it after ignoring the notification 37 times. Harsh reality time. People who care, reply. People who feel your absence, look for you. She does none of the above. She sees, she disappears. And if she comes back at all, it's with a "hey" that's drier than a desert, a half-hearted "how are you?" like she's filling out a job application. Worse yet, you're secretly grateful she even remembered you exist. How pathetic. This isn't a conversation. It's you dragging a corpse of hope across your phone screen while she's out there, online, having a blast in IG stories, commenting on the ex's pics, and ignoring you like an overdue bill. Now be honest. When was the last time she messaged you first? Shared something just with you? Looked for you because she wanted to, not because she was bored? If you've spent more time waiting for a reply than it took her to do her makeup for last night's outing, it's because it's already game over. Stop fooling yourself with, well, she does reply, so there's still a chance. That's just her giving her ego a quick feed. You're nothing more than a duplicated sticker in her emotional album there, but useless. And guess what? The next sign is so blatantly ridiculous to ignore that if you're still in denial, it's like trying to watch a movie with your eyes closed. Ready for the shock? Let's do this. Sign 7. She's constantly posting on social media but ignoring your messages. And you're there, story watching like a security guard, praying for a miracle. You send a carefully crafted message, hoping she'll respond this time. She sees it. And nothing. Nothing. Then, as if ignoring you wasn't enough, she suddenly uploads a story boomerang at the bar, a selfie captioned, "Free, wild, and loving it." Maybe a poll like, "Should I block this loser or just keep ignoring him?" And you, of course, are left trying to absorb the hit. Wait, she's online. Why isn't she answering? Because she doesn't want to, my friend. She doesn't want to. That's it. She didn't forget or get distracted. She intentionally ignores you but does it with flair, smiling at her phone for the rest of the world to see how great her life is. Without you. That's rejection in the 5G era. Swift, painful, and silent. She doesn't have to say, "I'm not into you." She shows it to everyone but you. You've become the uninvited spectator of her personal reality show. And the most pathetic part? You still come up with excuses. She's probably just stressed. Right, so stressed she can reply to everyone else except you. And don't think this is random. It's calculated. She knows you're watching. She posts with you in mind, aware that you'll see and feel tortured. She's feeding off the attention. This is emotional manipulation dressed up as, "I'm just living my life." And you, star of your own tragic soap opera, stay right there, waiting for a reply that'll never come. Because you're not a priority, not an option, not even a memory. You're just one more name in her ignored notifications. But hold tight, because the next gut punch is coming right up. When she starts talking about other men, you'll finally get your humiliating cameo role in her storyline. Ready? Sign 8. She talks about other guys, and you just sit there with a forced smile, pretending you're not being stabbed in slow motion. She's hanging out with you, maybe over coffee, maybe just on a bench looking you in the eye while gushing about her ex, her ripped co-worker, or some influencer she's head over heels for. She laughs, spills the details, shows you screenshots, shares stories, all with you. You, who were supposed to be the potential romantic interest, but instead got demoted to unlicensed therapist. The saddest part, you act all cool, thinking you're mature, but inside you're a wreck. Your stomach's doing origami out of anxiety, and your heart is beating to the tune of, "You have zero chance, champ." Let's face it, if she's this comfortable chatting about other dudes with you, it's because she doesn't see you as a man. She sees you as a free emotional support pillow, a friendly ear, the nice guy, the clown who's always there, listening and comforting, even after she's basically rubbed her crush on someone else in your face. Congrats, you're the 24-hour no-copay therapist. And guess what's worse? A lot of times, she's doing it on purpose, testing how far she can push you, making sure you'll still be around, always ready to listen, even though she clearly has zero romantic interest in you. And you, obviously, stick around because you have that naive hope that someday she'll see you differently. Spoiler. Nope. A woman who's genuinely into you doesn't gush about other men in front of you. She wants your attention on her, and she wants to hold your attention on you as well. If she's comfortable telling you all about someone else, you're not even plan C. Your plan, I'll only think about him if I hit rock bottom and have literally no other option. And don't fool yourself with, she trusts me, that's all. No, that's not all. She just doesn't see you as a romantic candidate only, as a cushion for her drama. And guess who gets used for comfort with no payoff? A pillow. That's you. But hold on, there's more. When she's not babbling about other guys, she might only pop up in your life when she needs something. That's when you reach a whole new level of humiliation. Ready for the next dose of raw truth? Let's keep going. Sign 9. She only talks to you when she needs something. And you? Rush to help like the 24/7 doormat you are. She vanishes, disappears. You're sending messages, getting that good old silent treatment. Then, out of nowhere, ding. A wild notification appears. Hey, can you help me real quick? And you, the ever-faithful handyman, respond in half a second, thrilled she even remembered you exist, convenient though it may be. She doesn't ask how you're doing. Doesn't miss you, doesn't share personal stuff. She just needs a ride, a favor, help with a project. And you, loyal, emotional butler, jump right in, happy to be of service. And whose fault is that? Yours. Because from day one, you taught her she can treat you like a vending machine, put in a request, and you deliver, always available no matter how ignored you've been. She realized you're the perfect fix-it guy, emotionally and practically. And you let her, because you're clinging to the dream that she'll see how devoted you are. Spoiler, she won't. She's too busy using you as a free Uber. And when she gets what she wants, she's gone again. Zero gratitude, zero continuing the conversation, zero interest. This isn't a bond, it's a band-aid. She benefits from your presence, but invests absolutely nothing in return. This is not a partnership. It's exploitation in a sweet wrapper. And you, starry-eyed romantic, keep believing maybe she'll realize I've always been here for her. She does realize it. She realizes you're a staircase, a quick ride, a personal assistant. But a potential partner? Hard no. Listen up. How often someone reaches out shows exactly where you stand in their life. If she only remembers you when she needs something, then congrats. You're a resource, not a person. A bullet point on her to-do list, a quick scan QR code for help. And what's even more twisted? She'll do it all with that gentle, sweet tone that confuses you, because that's how she keeps you on the hook. Cold in her behavior, but warm enough in her words to keep you from fleeing. If you think that's the bottom of the barrel, guess again. The next sign has the final flourish of emotional rejection, when you're not even a pretend priority. Ready? Sign 10. She's nice but distant. The classic false hope with a sweet smile. And you, a certified sucker, think it's just a matter of time. She's polite, smiles, is friendly, responds with a sweetness that could give you diabetes. And you melt, convinced that you're this close to winning her over. Sorry, buddy. You're not close to anything except the neutral zone where no one is officially rejected, but no one is actually chosen. All this courtesy is strategy, plain and simple, because being nice is the perfect way to keep you around without having to commit. It avoids drama, confrontation, and the effort of telling you straight up, I don't want you. It's easier to keep you hanging with superficial kindness, maintaining a safe emotional distance, like she's taking care of a pet, not seeing you as a real romantic option. You mistake common courtesy for a green light. You see a polite good morning as a sign she's thinking of you. You see a smiley emoji as a silent confession of love. Time to snap out of it. Being polite doesn't mean she's interested. Niceness isn't the same as affection. Courtesy isn't attraction. She doesn't want you, but she doesn't want to lose you either, because you're convenient, reliable, the guy she can keep in orbit just in case. She's stringing you along between maybe someday and probably never. And the cruelest part? It's often calculated. She weighs her words, the timing of her replies, everything, just enough to feed your hope without ever committing to you. Meanwhile, you keep trying, believing you're gradually breaking down her defenses. In reality, all you're doing is feeding her ego and destroying your own. Then, just when you think things are getting better, she disappears and pops up again later with the same sweet vibe, acting like nothing happened. And you welcome her back with open arms, captive to the hope that you might be on the verge of something real. But no, we're not done. The next sign is the classic finishing move of romantic humiliation, when she makes it clear you're not in the picture at all, not even as a bad sketch. Let's go for that final blow. Sign 11. She disappears for days and then shows up like nothing happened. And you race to reply like a golden retriever missing its owner. She vanishes, evaporates from your chats, your feed, your galaxy. You text her, get the usual vacuum of silence. You start to accept that maybe you got tossed aside like a used napkin. Then suddenly, hey stranger, with a cutesy emoji. As if the 5-day radio silence was totally normal, like you'd agreed on some mystical sabbatical. And the worst part, you jump to answer, overjoyed she remembered you exist, even if it's just to toy with you again. Let's clarify. This isn't a memory slip. It's not life got hectic. It's not she's going through something. It's strategy. Whether conscious or not, she knows exactly what she's doing. She reels you back in when she needs an ego boost, when the main crush is MIA, when she wants to check if you're still her personal doormat. And you, of course, are always there loyal, naive, and oh so ready to feed her ego. She's done with you when something more exciting comes along, and she picks you back up when there's a void to fill. Because you're that emotional welcome mat that always says, hello, come in, no matter how many times it's been stomped on. Instead of setting boundaries, calling it out, or leaving, you do the opposite. You get excited. Oh, she's back. Coming back is easy. The hard part is staying. And a woman who does this vanishing act followed by a casual return doesn't want you. She wants control over you. Each disappearance is another blow to your dignity. Each comeback is proof you have no boundaries. You accept any behavior. You're the type who'd rather have crumbs of attention than an empty plate. And that's exactly why she keeps doing it. Important note. A woman who's interested doesn't ghost you without explanation. If she really has to step away, she communicates, shows respect. The rest, just elaborate excuses. If you still think you have a place in her life, watch out for the next sign, when she keeps you completely separate from her world, her daily life, friends, plans. That's when you can't deny anymore how dispensable you are. Ready to face that truth? Let's go! Sign 12. She avoids introducing you to her friends or family, and you think it's just a matter of time. Time for what exactly? The time she needs to pretend you never existed. You two have hung out a few times. Maybe you've even had some intimate moments, which, let's be honest, were probably more convenient for her than meaningful. But when it comes to real life, where does she place you? Quick answer. Nowhere. You haven't met a single one of her friends. You've never heard of her mom except in passing. Her cousin? You wouldn't recognize him if he was standing next to you. When you go out, it's always somewhere hidden or low-key, like she's transporting you to a parallel universe where you exist, but with zero witnesses. And you interpret this as discretion. No, buddy. This is preemptive emotional deletion. She's making sure nobody will ever bring you up once she decides to drop you for good. Now think about it. She shares everything on social media happy hours, family BBQs, the dog walking adventures with her uncle's neighbor. But you're basically under a non-disclosure agreement. Not a single photo of you two together. No cute little heart filter. Not even a mention of your existence. You're the best kept secret since the Vatican archives. And if you try to get closer, suggest meeting her friends or joining a group, she'll hit you with, oh, it's not the right time, or I like keeping things separate. Separate, yeah. She's separating you from the rest of her life. She wants the benefit of your attention without the burden of acknowledging you publicly. You're her emotional side hustle, hidden away. When someone wants you in their life, they bring you into it. They show you off, invite you along, let you meet the circle that matters to them. Hiding you is a sign of shame or disinterest. You, dear friend, are being tucked away like a debt she doesn't plan to pay off. And if you still cling to hope after all that, brace yourself. The next sign is the nail in the coffin. That feeling of being alone even when you're with her. And there's no bigger humiliation than feeling invisible while standing right next to someone. Let's go for the last bitter truth bomb. It's gonna sting, but it might set you free. Sign 13. You always feel insecure around her, and you think it's just passion. No, my friend, that's you becoming an official emotional beggar. There you are, giving it your all, smiling more than you should, carefully picking every word so you don't come off as too intense. Walking on eggshells, beating yourself up inside, praying she'll see you this time, that she'll notice the effort, appreciate the devotion. But what do you get? Doubt, silence, indifference. Every message you send feels like a gamble. Every scene without reply feels like a punch in the gut. Every time you do meet up, when she allows it, it feels like you're taking a test without an answer key. And the constant vibe is that no matter how hard you try, it's never enough. Spoiler, it isn't that you're not enough, it's that she never intended to see you as a real option. This daily anguish, that endless, does she, maybe she, should I? It's not because you're innately insecure. It's the byproduct of ignoring blatant signs of rejection. When someone values your presence, you know it. It's effortless, full of laughter and a sense of ease. But when they're emotionally on another planet and only come down to Earth when it suits them, all you get is anxiety, paranoia, and a self-esteem that's gone MIA. You blame yourself, thinking you're too clingy. The problem isn't your intensity. The problem is investing your energy in someone who won't even throw you a crumb of genuine interest. You're not needy. You're just sober in a relationship that's drunk on her ego. A woman who truly likes you doesn't make you feel small. She encourages you, looks you in the eye with warmth, makes you feel safe. But this one, she only feeds you doubt, confusion, and the perpetual desire to be chosen. And spoiler, you won't be chosen. She decided from day one that you were an extra, not a lead. Now here's the most important part. What do you do with this truth? You can ignore it all and keep playing the pathetic role of emotional spare tire, or you can take this pain and use it as fuel. Understand once and for all that if someone doesn't value you, they don't deserve your time or even your silence, let alone your attention. Your peace is worth more than anyone's inflated ego. That's your choice, and yours alone. Conclusion? Accepting. She doesn't want you hurts less than living the daily humiliation of begging for scraps. Yes, realizing someone's just not into you is a brutal blow to the ego. You had dreams, fantasies, a whole storyline that existed only in your head. And then you find out the other person never even considered choosing you. It stings like crazy. But you know what hurts a hell of a lot more? Continuing to insist. Keeping yourself on standby for someone who only calls when the main Wi-Fi is down. Accepting hurts, but it sets you free. It pulls you out of the extra role in your own life. It forces you to face reality. And though it burns at first, it's a pain with an expiration date. A pain that teaches, that lifts you up, that gives you back the dignity you scattered along the way every time you texted her and got treated like spam. Insisting, on the other hand, is a silent killer. It devours you slowly, turning you into a love zombie, chronically desperate, a do-everything type with zero reward. You'll lose yourself, start believing it's normal to be treated as someone's last option. You'll come to accept crumbs like they're a feast. And in the end, you're left exhausted, empty, and invisible. Let's be real. Deep down, you always knew. Every sign, every time she ghosted you, every snub, every cold reply. You saw it. You just didn't want to believe it. Hope, fueled by denial, is a powerful drug. But now that you've heard this all laid out, you can't unsee it. The reality is rough but simple. When there's genuine interest, things happen naturally, easily. When there isn't, everything's a one-sided uphill climb. it becomes a tragic theater with no audience. So do what you should have done the first time you got ghosted. Close that door, firmly, with your self-respect intact. Because the love you're not getting from her is the love you need to start giving yourself. Now tell me, how many of these signs did you ignore? How many times did you choose to believe in crumbs, even though the truth was screaming in your face? It's okay. We've all been fools at one point. Trying is not the mistake. Holding on after it's turned humiliating is. If this reality check hurt, great. Pain means there's still something alive inside you. Use it to rebuild. Drop a comment below. I was a fool once, but now I'm awake. Let's see how many are ready to stop settling for the minimum and start demanding what they truly deserve. And hey, if you know someone else trapped in this same cycle of self-deception, send them this video. Because sometimes a blunt punch of truth hurts less than one more sweet lie. Subscribe, ring the notification bell, and get ready. Because in the next video, we're not talking about surviving rejection. We're talking about coming back stronger, with dignity, presence, and your chest held high. Because crumbs are for pigeons. A man who values himself doesn't live off leftovers. He thrives on reciprocity. See you next time.